And at the end of the day, it's not about what's right. See, they try to teach us it's about what's right and wrong. Okay, if that's the case, why? How is it that we disproportionately represent the amount of jailed people in the world? That it wouldn't make sense because there's bad people in every culture. How do we have so many more than anybody else?
So if there's people that's growing up in the hood and they have that mentality, how do you expect them to get out of that mentality? Because a lot of people still live within that ingrained in them.
What mentality?
Like, no snitching.
That no snitching mentality, and they utilize that to factions of their life that can actually be detrimental to themselves. So for instance, there could be a child, someone who just murders people around the neighborhood, or they do bad things around the neighborhood, and because of no snitching, they don't want to get involved. Because a lot of times you could see someone getting assaulted, you could see someone getting kidnapped, and people know who it is, but they're not like, yo man, we don't snitch, we don't do no snitching like that. So
is that real though?
Is
it real, Mel? Because if you're running around killing people, someone's gonna get you. You can't just go around killing people. Those people have family members, they've got friends. You know what I'm saying? If they're part of an organization, that's why you got the violence back and forth. Somebody will kill you.
Of course, there's going to be violence and retaliation to something, but they say don't snitch, don't get the police involved.
Well, getting the police involved is different, right? But you're painting a picture like this dude's just running around for years, just killing whoever he wants, and that's not true. Like, he's gonna get got.
He'll get got, but still, when the law is involved and they come around asking questions. Like, because there's people who...
Did you hear anything?
Yeah, they'll ask you if you hear anything. Oh, no, we ain't hearing nothing. We'll handle ourselves. They do
right.
That,
that's wise. That's wise. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you get involved, once again, see, this is the thing. People think the justice system has something to do with justice and protecting people. It doesn't.
You mean the justice system doesn't bring justice?
No, it has nothing to do with justice, protection, any of those things. So when you get involved with them, you are bringing an entity in that now you can get caught up with. How many people called the police and end up in handcuffs? Like, no, it's just not wise.
Or call the police and get killed. Like, I called y'all.
It's not wise to bring them in. It's just like bringing the government into your marriage. Now you're getting divorced and you're paying lawyer fees, court fees, and they're dictating when you can see your children, how much you got to pay for your children, all because you brought this system into your marriage.
So when is it appropriate to have the police involved then?
My life has to be in danger.
I think.
Well, for the most part.
If it's an anonymous call, I guess maybe. I don't even know if you could do that, I suppose. Like, you see a bum on the side of the street that just got hit by a car or whatever, you might be able to call him and then just leave the scene.
So you think just for ambulance?
For ambulance.
So in no situation you feel the police are necessary to be involved?
No, I don't. He's not saying
I'm
that.
not saying he's saying that. I'm asking.
I'm not saying that there's no situation where police should be involved. I just don't know the scenario.
I mean, I'll give you one. If somebody is trying to break into my house, they're at the house, they're trying to break in.
You gonna call the police?
Instead of me, number one, I'm just thinking of right now. I don't know the laws in Texas about protecting your home. I don't know if they need to be inside your house.
Let's just say, nigga, you can have a gun, you can shoot and protect yourself. This is Texas.
Like in your house,
you can walk
outside of your house,
in the house,
in your home,
on your property.
I'm giving the scenario that he is at my door. He's trying to get in. I don't know if he has a gun. But
calling the police isn't even going to help you in that scenario.
You have to wait 10 minutes. You have to wait 10 minutes for someone else to come save you.
Well, no. Well, hold on a second.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that would be a deterrent, because I'm in my home. Hey, I'm in my house. Somebody's trying to break in. I don't know what's going on. I got my piece, but I'm get here because they're trying to get in. Right?
What's the deterrent?
If he gets here, hey man, I called the police. I don't know. Like if something, maybe it's a situation where, I watch a lot of movies, you know what I mean? Maybe it's a situation where he gets in and it's a struggle. And then the cops get in and, hey, we got your ass.
They'll end up killing both of y'all.
Probably.
That's the point.
But I mean, I don't know. Like,
everybody's dying.
I've never called the police. Well, I lied. I called them one time, but that's because I was talking to somebody who was trying to commit suicide. So I called the police and I said, hey, you need to go here.
And once again, you're just calling 911 for emergency assistance.
Well,
that
yeah,
the police wouldn't even be the proper person for that to handle that.
They did. I mean, the police went out there and the ambulance did as well.
Right. I understand all that. But what I'm how do you call the fire? How do you call the fire department? What's the number for the fire? What's the number for the fire department?
Most people just call 911.
Exactly.
But
when we talk about calling the police, you're just thinking 911. No.
So you're talking about actually, I want police.
Yeah, you want police officers on the scene. What are they going to do? They're not going to stop the robber that's at your door right now.
Okay, most of the time, I was trying to think of a scenario. I'm not saying that I'm all about calling the cops. Man, I ain't calling no cops. I was trying to think of a scenario where I would. Or like, what would be happening where I'm like, I need police.
If we were a different culture, I would say we're a different culture, we would think of an easy way to call police. These dudes next door, they've got a lot of music. The music's playing. They're
I've had
parked out.
police called on me for partying. I mean,
Like,
basically,
that's what the police get called for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. I bet you they get more calls for that
Like
than
if there's
anything
like a
else.
bank robbery or of something that we typically
something
see.
that you are witnessing.
I wouldn't call the police on a bank robbery.
You want to call 911?
No.
Why not?
For what?
Okay, hold on a second.
Well,
What would-
I would assume that they already have.
Well,
I don't know.
For a bank robbery, if it's a car accident, right? Okay, let's say there's three cars.
That doesn't work because once again, they're
No.
emergency.
Look, right, it's an emergency
Ambulance.
assistance. The police are going to come. The fire.
Yeah, but you
department's gonna
played
come.
my situation. You said you want police. Police.
Okay,
only,
right.
Not
Okay,
fire.
just
Not
police. Yeah, I
emergency.
I don't know, Steve.
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. I
So
that
y'all
was
are
hard.
basically saying that y'all are on the side of defund the police. So
I don't even know what that.
who said
I don't
that?
even know
So
what that
y'all
means.
don't want protection.
No. Who said that?
Protection.
I'm just saying, y'all.
No, you
y'all
just
can't even
you.
think of
No,
reasons
we're
to
having a
police.
conversation, and you said that you try to put this political stance
Chris
on
and
us.
Steven want to defund the police.
Yeah, now that's a real.
That's a real.
Now and
Yeah, that content can't.
That's
y'all
how Mel
support.
does,
Can't
like-
do that content.
we never said that. Here's the thing. I don't think that defunding the police or remove that's stupid. I mean,
Well, do you know what it is? Is the question.
I don't know what it is,
So
but
you don't know.
But at least for the most part, I believe that police are a deterrent towards crime, gang violence in general.
No, they're not.
Oh, I
they
didn't
actually
say.
facilitate it.
I said.
No, you
Okay.
said I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
you-
no.
in general.
No, in a society where
the
police
pot.
don't exist, that means every person has to learn how to protect themselves, which means every person is on an even playing field, which means you don't go places knowing that every single person knows how to defend themselves. It's not wise. So it becomes a societal deterrent to do things when you know everybody's carrying a pistol.
Okay, I can see that.
Versus in our society where virtually no one is carrying pistols and you got to call the police is going to be there in 10, 15
So
minutes.
years ago, when they all walked around with swords, right? I think Game of Thrones. Everybody, well, not Game of Thrones. Even
Thrones.
before that,
Oh.
yeah,
Shotgun.
I'm
Even
thinking
before
like
that.
samurai.
Shotgun.
yeah,
These are
they
samurai swords.
always had swords.
Everyone's grandpa had a shotgun to the point where, it was the whole thing. You come pick up the girl.
So Chris is all for defunding the police.
I don't even know what that means. What I'm
Trying to put words in your
what I'm
mouth.
for is personal protection, which we've always needed. You should never depend on a police officer. Are they Superman?
I agree.
They're gonna be help 911 help, and then
I
within
can't do
seconds
anything until the cop
there's
gets
someone
here.
there. So they take away your ability. It's to the point where they tie you up so bad to the point where you don't even know if you can defend yourself on your own property because you don't know the law.
Yeah, you're right. That's
It's
bad.
it's nothing good about this. We just once again perceive it as good because there's a perception that you don't need to know this. Someone else will do it for you. It's pushing off responsibility on somebody else.
Yeah.
And we think, oh, that's better. It's worse.
I think that people in general should know how to protect themselves. Just like in Russia, they teach children about guns, right? And they don't have gun violence like we do. Now they have gun violence, but not
Nobody has gun violence like we do.
Right.
And ours isn't even that bad, to be honest. It's
I'm
still
just,
it's
you
still
know,
pumped
just-
up.
just based on what is out there.
So you think the more guns that we have, the better it will be?
I feel like you're.
I'm
No,
I
that's
feel like you're
that's-
fishing.
I'm
No,
genuinely
that's
asking.
that is, I think that's a fair statement. Not
Okay.
just having more
Not just
guns,
drop
right? Not
care packages of
care
guns in every
packages of gun
neighborhood.
everywhere.
Yeah,
No.
If you education, training,
Education, training, it's a societal norm that people open carry. Just think about it. Who are you testing? And you know everybody got a pistol.
you ain't checking nobody.
Not no more. I mean, I'm
No. Just in general.
In
right? If
general.
you just know,
Like, you know, I'm going to shoot at
Like-
you, you're
like-
going to shoot back.
like living in the
Like,
wild,
like,
wild
all right,
west,
you know what?
or
we don't even need to. Let's resolve this peacefully.
We don't even need to
get there.
pull a weapon out.
Yeah, because we already know what it is.
If
Yeah.
everybody knows that they're equalizers.
yeah.
See, for those citizens that are good citizens and they don't have, first of all, how does a good citizen and not having a gun, how do they even come together? But you could hear people say that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But in the Constitution, what is it number 2? The right to bear arms?
So, one of them.
Now, the crazy thing about it is it was written to bear arms against the government, right? Like, you're supposed to be able to protect yourself from the government, which, guess what the police are?
The government.
Government is under the people. People create the government, right? So if we were God, we would create this thing called the government, and the government would be like a golem that's designed to protect us and facilitate certain things, but we would control the golem. We wouldn't then allow the golem to attack us, which is essentially what we've done now. We've given up all of our rights that were embedded into the Constitution. I would even say inalienable rights that are human rights that God has given to us. We've abandoned them for what we believe is sophisticated and, societal norms and blah, 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 and all this other crap. It's the same reason it goes back to the Christmas trees. We do stuff, we don't know why we do it. We don't understand the laws, why they were what they were. People think the right to bear arms was to protect yourself from another person trying to rob you. No, it's to protect yourself from the government you created. So anyway, no, I don't see the point of police.
You brought it full circle, man.
What? Okay, forget all that. What were the police originally created for?
I mean, they're supposed to be public servants.
No, they were created.
They uphold the law.
No, they were created to capture quote unquote runaway slaves. People who would abandon their jobs. They're supposed to round them up and bring them back. It was a deterrent to keep people from leaving their jobs. That's what it was for. It was never designed to protect the public from predators and stuff. That's not what they were doing. Look, people have to understand origin stories.